Okay, awesome. So thanks, Amber, for hopping on a call today.
Yeah.
So my hope was to just kind of recap on our the scheduling that's in the system. I kind of started to do the work on it, and I put in the framework for the schedules, and then I wanted to touch base with you guys and show you what I've done so far, and then see how this would work with work according to your schedules, kind of having a basic understanding for how things work in assisted living and retirement communities. So
Okay.
without further ado, I'll go to the kind of the global, kind of the 30,000 foot view, and then we'll kind of zero in and see how that applies to an individual, because there's kind of a couple directions that we can go with this. So I just wanted to, before I got too far down the rabbit hole, I just kind of wanted to show you what I've done so far, and then see where you want to go from here. So if we're in the system and we have the menu up here at the top left, the three horizontal bars, you
Hmm.
click on the gear, and then we go into our profiles and policies, and then we go scroll down here to our schedules. We have daily rules and we have work schedules. Now we could build individual work schedules without the daily rules, or you can do the daily rules and copy them into the work schedules. So you'll see what I mean by that in just a moment. So what I did was I created these schedules. These are daily rules. So these aren't like a particular day of week. This is just an individual daily rule. So if I look at like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., that's really all it is in here. It's a fixed schedule, and it's from a set point in time to another set point in time. And there's additional stuff that we can put in here. We can have this as a particular, a department. So if you put in here, similar to the exceptions, we can have it assign a department for the individual if they're assigned to this schedule. So you can kind of tie those two together.
Okay.
And then here's the different, so all these are, so we have 10 to 6, 2 to 10, 6 to 2, 6 to 6, and another 6 to 6. And then these are what's canned in the system. So we can use these if we need to, or modify them if we need to. So again, that's the daily rule. And then when we kind of take a step back and take those daily rules, we can assign them to the individual for their work schedule. If we navigate over here, which I'll get to in a moment, but you can assign those daily rules to the individual on a day by day or week by week basis, or you could take those daily rules and then go in here and assign these to a work schedule profile. So this could be it could be a rotation. It could be like a 7 or a 14 day rotation if that's something that you have. It could be either days or weeks, so we could expand that as needed. So if I were to do like a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and a 7 day cycle, and it's like Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Just an example. And if you have any ideas, go ahead. Feel free to interrupt me.
So our nurse's schedule isn't so basically what I need is for I haven't figured out how overtime is broke up yet. So when I pull my timesheets and I have to do payroll, I need to have the regular hours and the overtime hours on a report. And then for my nursing center, I need them broke down into like what you have, like the 6A to 6P, because at different times, those are different rates of pay. So it's not really a Monday through Friday thing, but like our nurses, I could go right like Sunday through Saturday, 6 to 6, right? And then would it do a report for anything after that? So like if they stay till 7, that's a different rate of pay for them. So when I print a report, I need it to have that broke down.
Yes, we can do that. And now that's a separate part. This is kind of the core scheduling part of it. Now, if we were to go into shift differentials, that's
Yes,
a
that's
separate area, which we certainly can do, and it's according to how you do your shift differentials. Now, that's still under the global setup area.
okay.
I'm sorry, our profiles and policies, not global setup. And then it's under pay calculations. And right now we just have one for our nurses. And then if we go into this rule in here and click on the little pencil there. I don't know if I have anything set up. Let me see. Ship premium. I think I have the framework in here. No, I don't. I don't even have that. So if we go up here to the top and add a step. And shift premium. So these are all the different shift premium rules that are available to us. We would probably do it by either time of day. So what is how do the shifts work right now? I'll just start, what I'll do is I could start taking some notes.
Sure. Okay, so for everyone except for nursing center, anything over 40 hours is overtime,
Mhm.
and that is Thursday through Wednesday. So
Hang on 1 second. 1 second. I'll just start a Google Doc. Okay. For who was that for? What individuals?
it's for business office, it's for everyone except for nursing center and assisted living. So if you are an RN, a CNA, an LPN, or a CMA, like it doesn't, that is still overtime, but I also need it broke down more.
Understood.
Let me start over.
No, I know,
Okay.
I know where you're going. So, for more your admins and your conventional, non-nurses, basically, they're a more conventional 40-hour per work week for your overtime.
Yes, so anything
And then
over 40 is
Mhm.
time.
Do they have those? What do you call those people? Do you call them admins, or do you call them? What would you like to refer to them as?
Some of them are admins. We also have like our dietary and laundry department. We have housekeeping, our maintenance department. Then we have like, they are admins, but then like they're not under admin. So it'd be like our activities director, our social services director. We have an MDS person. We have a marketing person.
Okay.
And then we have business office. So I think business office is under admin. So that would be fine.
Okay, so what do you want to call them? Do you want to call it like all staff or non-nurses? We could break it down between like nurses and non-nurses. So like if we look
Yeah.
at
Yep.
uh,
Let's do non-nursing staff. Let's go that way.
yeah, so if we look at if we go back here and we have a pay calc rule. So when we look at the employee profile, and if I'm jumping around too much, just tell me to slow down and I'll take a little bit more time with it. But you'll see how this pay calc rule right here. Now I'm going to add another one for your non-nurses. But if I go in and look at this employee's profile, and I look at the profile, which is right up here now, they moved it. And so I look at down here under the pay calc for nurses. I would add a separate one for your non-nurses.
Okay.
Okay, so outside, so what we're calling these non-nursing staff,
Yep, that sounds perfect.
and so we could change this to the wording if we need to. And then, are there any other rules around the overtime? They don't have shift differentials, do they? They're more like a 9 to 5 type operation.
Right, exactly.
Okay. How about lunch or break deductions, either automatic or if they actually punch for them?
Right now they're supposed to punch for themselves, and then I go through weekly and see if I need to. Sometimes with like if COVID shoots up, then it's up here, and so we try not to commingle too much, and so sometimes I'll have to enter one manually. But I think the lunches are okay for now.
Okay. And are they on a
Unless you have,
schedule?
like, a magic one
Or is
where
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said unless you have like a magical one where if anything over 6 hours doesn't have one by the end of the week, they can automatically put one in. But
Yeah, you can with that rule. You can put a rule in that says, okay, if you haven't punched up to 6 or 6.5 hours, the system's going to assume and do an automatic lunch deduction.
Okay.
6.5?
Yep.
Anything else special about them?
Nope, that one, I think that is perfect right there.
And then, so our nursing staff.
So for RN and LPN, they're gonna be different than CMA and CNA for timing wise.
Okay, RN and LPN, okay.
So for them, we have 2 shifts. We have a 6A to 6P and then a 6P to 6A. We don't have a middle shift for them.
And do they have a shift differential if they work an hour into the adjacent shift?
Yes, or so like say they clock in at 5:45 a.m. and their shift starts at 6, so those 15 minutes count as a different pay rate. So anytime before, anytime after is a different one.
Okay. What's the threshold that it starts counting as a shift diff? Because I know a lot of times with assisted living and nursing facilities that they're supposed to come in, so that way there's a little bit of overlap between the shift change.
Mm-hmm. For the way that we pay, it's exactly 6 to 6 and exactly 6 to 6. So if they were here at 6:01, that would count as a second shift.
So if they come in at 5:59, is that 1 minute counted as a shift differential, or is it rounded to
Yes.
6 o'clock? It is counted.
No,
Okay.
it's counted. Yep.
Now, I'm assuming that your first shift people can get the second shift diff. Do the second shift people, if they work anywhere before or after that 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., do they get a shift differential, or is it all time between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. considered a shift differential for those people? Like,
Yeah.
how do you?
So say you get paid 6A to 6P, you get 25, and then $1 more from 6P to 6A. So yes, if you work 6P to 6A and then you go a little over, then it kicks back down to $25 an hour instead of 26, or vice versa, whatever.
Okay, so it's what kind of determines it or dictates it is that it's the time of day, not what you're assigned to.
Yes. Yep.
So the 6A to 6P is your kind of your base rate, and then anybody that kind of works into that 6P to 6A is that, what do you call that? Do you call that second shift? What do you call that shift differential?
So I think we just call it shift differential. So for RNs, it would just be first shift and second shift, or day shift versus night shift.
And then, okay, so that covers that. And does that same that concept apply to your LPNs or I'm sorry, not LPNs, who are the other group, your 3 shift?
The CMA and the CNAs. Also, I should tell you, the RNs and LPNs, they are not required to take a 30-minute lunch, because sometimes they work by themselves, so they're not able to take a lunch. So they would not, I would not want them to automatically get a lunch taken out for those. Okay, so for CNA and CMA, we have 3 shifts. We have 6A to 2P, and that's our morning shift.
Okay, so it's these, right? Oh, you said, yeah, 6A to 2P right here.
Yep.
And then what, 2P to 10, and then 10 to 6?
Yes.
Okay. And then, so you probably have you look at that daytime shift as your base
Yes,
And then the second, you call it second shift, I guess, that.
we
2
call
p-
it, yeah, like, evening differential.
Okay, so 2 PM to 10 PM, you call that evening. And, okay, so separate that out. And everything still, it's all minute to minute. So if you go one over, one under, it just says it's straight up 2 PM to 10 PM is that evening differential,
Yep,
all minute to minute. Okay. And then from 10,
10 to
Uh,
6,
10:01, or is it 10?
it's 10.
Okay. 6 AM. What's that, overnight or night
Night.
differential? Okay.
And anything over 6 hours is a half-hour lunch deducted for those.
Okay, for your CMA, okay. Okay, any other special rules as far as the shift differentials?
No, I think that would be really helpful. Just that right there would be great.
Okay, so then what we can do is we can go a couple different directions. We could take these, either the daily rule or this, the work schedule profile. So if you're doing a work schedule profile, you could take that and assign that to the individual in their profile. Actually, it was just in there. That's what I was going to show you earlier. So here's the profile to pull out here. Here's that work schedule. That's right there. So you could take that and assign that if you'd like to,
Okay,
and then save it. And then what that does is that populates out into the future. So I think I only had like one day. So that's like 6 to 6 on a Monday. So that's going to take that. That'll be a template, and that'll assign that. If you wanted to go a different route and go schedule them on a week by week basis, you could do it on skills or by their availability. There's a couple different ways you could do that, or you could just go out and build the schedule right here. Let's see, where is it? So, and this should pull in. Yeah, so this is, you could do it right here. So these are the, so notice the difference there. In the profile, it's pulling from the work schedule. And in the in this weekly schedule, kind of this on the fly scheduling, it does it right here. This daily schedule rule.
okay,
So it's a matter of how you kind of go about your scheduling in the system. Now you can also have this available, to the employees so they could see what their schedule is, and you can give them access to the mobile app too. And we're probably not there yet, but I'm just putting it out there that you can have this as like something that the employees can pull up on their mobile phone and see what their
Okay.
work schedule is, to kind of make life easy for them too.
Okay.
So yeah, so you can kind of go down and just kind of do this. Boom, 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 schedule it. Also, if you have something in their profile, this is what this is pulling from. So if you wanted to put in a default, you could put in a default. If this person normally works this, then you can make, some fine tweaks in there. You could kind of do
Yeah.
that on the fly.
Okay. I don't know if we're there yet, but
Okay.
could you tell me what report you would use that would show me, like, that would break down, once you have those rules in there, that would break down like the overtime, the regular, and how you would do that? Because right now I'm downloading it to Excel, and then I'm having to separate it. So I need something a little easier than that.
Sure. So there's a couple different reports that are in here. So just to be clear, when you say overtime, we're not talking shift differentials right now, right? We're just talking over 40 or over a certain amount of hours.
Right. So at the end of 2 weeks, so our pay period, let's just say, is 7/8 through 7/21. I need to run those dates, those things, and I need to have the overtime for those 2 weeks separate from the regular hours. And it can be all in the same report, but I need the times, like 43 hours. I don't want to have to sit there and separate three hours and 77.77 from 40. Like, I just want to tell me 40 hours of overtime or 40 hours of regular and 7.3 hours of overtime. Like, do we have a report that does just like that stuff?
We do, and it's probably going to be a matter of looking at a few different reports and deciding which one you like the most.
Okay.
They're probably going to be in here under, if you click on the employee icon. And once we get the framework built out, we can kind of filter this down into your dashboard. That way you're not clicking all over the place, just to kind of
Okay.
make the navigation a little easier. But to answer your question, you probably go under the individual, you go under time reports, and probably it's either going to be under a time allocation report, or it's going to be under a calculated time report. So maybe a detailed calculated time.
Okay.
That's probably going to be one of them. And then you could do it, you click on, and if I'm clicking around too fast, let me know. But then you can click on this filter up here to do your date range. So you could do this by pay period. And then what are you, this was the old one, I think, was it? And then Thursday, Wednesday is correct, or no?
So could you, that one, Thursday through Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay. Could you run like the 8 through, that's okay.
I'm sorry?
Could you go back to the calendar and can I tell you some dates and can you run that report so I can see what it would look like? Let's do that 8 through the 21st.
Okay.
Yeah. And then to the 21. Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Let me do a date range. Said July 8th.
Perfect. Okay, so when you run that report, I usually go over to the 3 dots and I export. Is that how you would do that?
Well, it depends on how you want. If you can, if this looks good the way that you like it, you could export it to an Excel or a PDF or CSV, but you might need to do some additional configuration. So, I mean, if you wanted to have a total for like employees, you could just go in here and group. And then each time you do a grouping, you're going to get a total for them.
Okay. Where's the total? So like you see Gladys, where's her total at?
You know what? I'm not sure. She should have a total here. Come on. Let's try something else. Yeah, there should be a total up at the top. I'm not sure why.
Okay, I just didn't know if it was just me or what. Okay.
I'm gonna have to look at that one for you, Amber. Sorry about that.
That's okay. It's refreshing, I guess, that you're having trouble too, because sometimes I just feel like it's me. So
Well, they changed a few things about the reports in the new revision, so I thought it was up to speed, but clearly I'm not. So I need to do a little
it's
bit of
okay.
homework on my end and see what, because usually when you group by, you'll get a total for, so you'll have a kind of a breakdown. So if it's itemizing it, anytime you do a grouping, it will total it. So I need to see why it's not doing that. So let me make a note of that. So you want to see, you want to see, now, actually, that's a good question. So your overtime week, is it Sunday to Saturday, or is it?
Oh no, it's the Thursday through Wednesday.
Okay, it's good to know. Thursday through Wednesday.
Yeah.
Always, regardless of the whether they're non-nursing or nursing.
Yep, for everyone.
Okay. Okay. And then so you want to see Thursday through Wednesday for the first week and Thursday through Wednesday for the second week for basically a breakdown of the regular and overtime.
Yeah, and I can actually do it. I mean, so like I told you, the 8th through the 21st, I could just, even if it's just for the pay period, not the week, that's fine too, because we pay bi-weekly. So when I do the report, I could scan in something too, so you could see how I have to break it down. But I have to have it like regular hours, and then I have to have overtime hours. So I can have those totals, or I can have them separated and I can add those totals. That part doesn't matter to me. But before, I've had to run the report, and then I have to separate, and then I have to do, and so I just need totals instead
I
of
got you.
having to do every individual.
Okay.
And then that would be amazing, super helpful. So
All right, sounds good.
Not doing it, no. We need to be in question.
Okay.
Okay, in case.
What else do we need to focus in on today?
no, I think if I can get those, I think the rest of it is getting there. And so I feel okay about everything else. It's just the reports and having to do payroll. That's the biggest concern right now. So
Okay, and
if
who are
I
you
can
using
get-
for payroll?
couldn't tell you. I just go through and look until I find what I'm looking for right now, but
Are you using like an outside payroll company to send it off to, or are you keying it into them?
oh
or-
yeah. No, yeah, we send it off to FMSI. So I separate it out, put it in the way we need it, and then we send it to them and then they enter all that. Calculated hours by workday. That's the one I've been doing for my reports right now. And then I have to go through and do a bunch of things to it before I can use it. So
Okay. Okay. If you have anything you want to send along, I can add it to this. That way, that'll kind of keep me on the right path as far as getting a report or the reports that you need out of the system. That way, you don't have to do double duty.
sure. I can try to find one from before we started using the official one, and I could just scan it into you, and I can just write beside it like how it's broke down. That way, you can just have a visual of that. It
Okay.
doesn't. It's going to be better than that. Obviously, the system is better than the one we had, but I just kind of need the gist of it, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be a big help to me.
Yeah, I can do that then. But I
All
think
right.
otherwise we're good. I think you have all the stuff I need written down, so we're good.
Okay, wonderful. So we got we're going to separate all the scheduling. So schedule. So this will be 3 different groups. So basically we kind of got the schedules in there. We just need to go ahead and assign them to the employees. And then we'll need 2 additional pay calc profiles. Do people float back and forth between being like an RN and a CMA or an LPN
No.
and a CNA? Okay,
No.
good.
So even if they were an RN and they did CMA shift for, I don't know what reason that would ever happen, but if that happened, we would still pay them a nurse's wage. So it would still be the same as far as
Okay.
all that.
Okay, good to know. All right, so that's all. So my point is, when you see that, you probably saw that in the employee's profile, you assign them a pay calc rule. So if we're going to be doing,
Yes. Yeah,
if
I'll
we're
go
going to
through
be,
and do that.
yeah, if we'll be doing fixed windows of time and putting them into the pay calculation in here throughout certain points of the day, we'll need one for one for your RNs and LPNs and one for your CMAs and CNAs.
I think that's okay because I think I can just put them 6A to 6P. Will that do essentially the same thing? I can just
Yes.
assign them 6A to 6P because we do have nurses that typically work 6A to 6P and then nurses that usually work overnight. So I could just assign them that. I don't think you have to break it down more than that.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of, you could do one way or the other. You could set up your shifts and assign them. And then if a person falls out of that shift, they fall into a different shift differential.
Okay, yeah,
As long as they're scheduled for a shift. And then that way the pay calc has more generic rules in there as far as how you're paying the shift, or you put fixed sets of time in there. So you can I could look at it a little bit and see, hey, if an employee falls within, a half an hour of this time, we'll kick them into a particular shift differential. Or we separate it out even more where you have one for your CMAs and CNAs, a pay calc rule, and then you have another
Yeah.
pay calc rule for your LPNs and RNs.
Yeah, I think that one sounds really good.
Okay, that's usually what we do, but that's not to say, we can't do it other ways too, if you need it to be more flexible for you.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
All right.
So when I go to pay calc, do I need to put an effective date or it just automatically, if I put nurses, then it will just automatically be nurses?
So if you do an effective date in here, let me go in here. So yeah, if you're adding, basically if you're having a rule change, so this kind of anchors it to a date and time. Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, sorry about that. So it's gonna do that, but it's only gonna kick in whatever the new rule is if we, go grab another pay calc rule
Okay.
effective from that date, and then you go in and actually save the timesheet. So you do need to save the timesheet if you're kind of doing this after the fact and looking back. If you're doing it from today moving forward, then it'll be automatic. But if you're doing anything kind of retroactive, like you're sliding somebody from CMA to LPN or vice versa, and it's retroactive, you would need to basically make sure you have your anchor date set properly in here, and then go in to the timesheet and either save it or run or reapply the pay calculations, and that'll bring you up to date as far as the payrolls.
Okay, so our pay period ended the 21st, our new pay period started the 22nd. So if I wanted this report to work when I run for the next time, do I need to set that on there for the 22nd?
Not really, not if only if you're changing them and if you want the rules to apply differently. I think if this is a rule that should be applied, all the way back to when you started using it, you might want to just go in and assign, just not even do this, just go in and assign one right here to the new rule and assign it appropriately. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So
and just to
that would-
clarify, is nurses for anyone nursing related, CNA, CMA, that counts as nursing? Because is that right? Or do I need to wait for it to be like broke down even more?
Yeah, I'm gonna, what I'll do is I'll break it down even more. So you'll have one for LPNs and RNs, and you'll have one for CMAs and CNAs. And then you'll have
Okay,
one
so-
for like your admins and non-nursing staff. So
Okay.
we'll have 3 in here.
Okay, so I shouldn't start this. I should just wait until we get that.
Yeah, let me get the framework of the rules. We'll probably have to do a little bit of tweaking here and there, but at least
Okay.
we'll get the rules in there, and then we'll assign them to the employees, and then we'll reapply the pay calculations to the timesheets and make sure that the differentials are working the way that they should.
Okay.
And then also, I should point out, rather than having go through the employees one at a time, you can use the mass edit tool. I always forget where it is in the menu, so I just search for it. So if you just do a
Okay.
mass edit and you mass edit your profiles here, and then this, so you can use, say for example, if you wanted to filter something on the fly, just go ahead and select your columns, and let's go find, here it is, cost center 1. I just move that up. Okay, so if I want to go grab all my CNAs, so I got 14, and then just select all of them by clicking this button here.
Okay.
And then I do a mass edit for them. And then I'm going to move them to the new pay calc rule, which would be right here, which I don't have yet,
Oh,
but if I
perfect.
did, it would be here in the drop down.
Okay.
And then click apply the change, and then it'll reassign them to the new pay calc rule. Now, if I wanted to, if I'm adding a new rule, I could, like you were talking about, I wanted to make something effective today, but not retroactively, I could do something like that and click on it, and then click apply change.
Perfect. Okay.
So
That's super
yeah,
helpful.
we use this a lot. I mean, we use it ourselves a lot. It's a helpful tool rather than have to go through one at a time and rekeying stuff. It's a big time saver.
For sure would have done that though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super helpful. Okay, well, I think that's a really good start, so I feel good about that. So
Okay. Okay, great. So yeah, I'll get started on that. I'll shoot you an email once I've kind of made some progress. And then if you wanted to do any mass edits or anything like that, you can go ahead and do that. And then I don't know if you want to schedule another follow-up next week. It's up to
Yes.
you, or
Yeah.
okay.
Can we, Caitlin is like due any second, and so I'm not
Okay.
quite sure what next week looks like yet. So is it okay if I get with you on Monday to set up a
Sure.
time maybe? Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds really good then.
Okay. All right,
Okay,
wonderful.
awesome. Thanks so much.
All right, thanks, Amber. Have a nice weekend.
You too, stay away from the tornadoes.
I think we're in the clear, hopefully, knock on wood.
Okay,
All right, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Uh-huh.
Bye.
Bye.